What's up, everybody? This is Presto.
CorporalNosaj.
And you are listening to episode 93 of the Nintendads podcast, the family gaming episode. And we are joined by two very special humans, Dan and Jacob from Avenue Studios. Welcome in, y'all.
Woo.
Hello, thank you.
Welcome, gentlemen, welcome.
Today, we're going to be talking about family gaming. This is going to be sort of a mashup of two previous episodes that we've done. One on family video games, and there's bound to be some appearances from the games that we talked about in the Unplugged episode, too.
That was a good episode.
That was a good episode. But before we get started, let our guests introduce themselves. Guys, tell us, who are you, where did you come from, and what do you do?
The hat made it. You didn't have to take that off.
Yeah.
Give me that back.
Jake's got his producer off screen.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Well, hello, I am Dan from Avenue Studios. You can find us on YouTube, Rumble, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. We do a lot of actual plays, but most of our content is tabletop RPG focused. Right now, we stream Saturdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. Every other week is news and reviews, where Jacob and I and our wives talk about whatever's happening. There's been a lot with Hasbro and stuff, so there's been a lot to talk about recently. So,
yeah.
And then the others, we do play tests. We just tested Tales of Legend and the RPG Stories 3D system, and then AR from Phase AR that you can use. So we try to do a little of all of that. We do have some new shows coming up that are more pure entertainment, but still in the RPG world, that are going to be pretty big productions. We've got full costumes and makeup. I'm really excited for that. So that's what we're up to. And this is my family friend and fellow creator, Jacob.
Nerd. I'm Jacob. I'm from Avenue Studios.
He's
Pretty much
not
everything
wrong.
Dan said, and then I run games.
Yeah, and we all met, well, Corporal was virtually there, but we all met at EcclesiaCon not so long ago. So cheers to DM Tales for matchmaking all of us creators together.
Mm-hmm.
He did that. It
That
was
was great.
Now,
He's doing it
before
again,
we
too.
get started, you can keep your glass up. We like to go over what we're drinking. What are y'all drinking?
Am I allowed to say the name?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Father's Day is coming up.
Father's Day is coming up, so in honor of being with the Nintendads and all of us being fathers, this is Ryan Reynolds' vasectomy. So
Nice.
yes. If you don't know it, you can Google it and have fun. But cranberry juice, lime juice. I use sparkling water with a little flavor, and then some gin. And that is the vasectomy.
Nice.
Fun
And
stuff.
he said, "Why call it that? I don't know. Who cares?"
That's Ryan
'Cause
Reynolds.
it's Ryan
That's
Reynolds.
on brand. That's very Deadpool of him.
Deadpool. He was born for that role.
He really was.
So that's me.
What do you got there, Jacob?
like any good dad. First of all, I'm bringing
Oh.
out Avenue Studios mug. Coffee. Just black coffee.
At
Man after my own
9
heart.
o'clock at night.
Hey, I love
I
coffee.
love you. He needs it though. This man doesn't sleep much. I know how he does it.
It's the hats.
It's
Presto, what are you drinking?
I am on my Golden Road for the summer with the Blondie, Pacific Blonde. But that's only because I drank all the mango carts and guava carts earlier in the week.
You
So,
dove right into summer beer.
absolutely.
that's
I drink summer beer all year round, but in summer I drink extra summer beer just for quality assurance purposes.
Yes.
So I just came back from 2 weeks in Italy. So we are on a very strong Italian kick in this household right now. So I started with an Aperol Spritz, but we ran out of Aperol, which is like a citrus red color matching your vasectomy. So this is a lemonade spritz using a variety of different types of liquors and lemonade just to give it that punch.
Dude, that's awesome.
Nice.
It's like an Italian Long Island iced tea.
Yes, basically.
It looks extremely refreshing.
It really does.
It is. Did you hit the correct?
It does. You really were in Italy because you're gripping that thing by the stem
Yes.
and not the glass, and I
Classic.
appreciate
Just got the
that.
pinky out.
I fully respect it. If it was a little less full, I'd ask you to give us a swirl and a sniff. But
Oh,
I love it.
What should we do? What are you playing? Because we're kind of going to talk about that. We'll do a brief rundown. What are you guys playing? Corporal, you go first since you're back off of your Italian hiatus.
He's trying to fix something. I'll go first.
yeah.
I
I
got you.
apologize. We started this, and for some reason, both Jacob and Dan, their audio wasn't coming through,
Oh,
and then my audio stopped coming through. So the only person who was talking was Presto.
Me?
what a great clip! Clip it.
I don't understand because the sound volume bars are bouncing around.
This is
Is it
live
fixed
television,
now, or do
everyone.
you- Yes.
This is what
Luckily,
happens.
I'm recording my end of this, so the one that will make it to Spotify and live in infamy for all of time will have all of the audio.
OBS hates me. Every single time it updates, it
Dude.
resets my settings. So I apologize.
No,
It
you got,
does.
is it fixed now, or do you still need to
Yeah,
work on it?
no, we're
okay.
good now.
Okay, dude, I
All
feel
that
you on
there. We've
OBS. It's awesome and horrible. It's like a love hate. Jake knows.
Yeah, go ahead, Jacob. Let's let you. What have you
What are
been
we
playing?
playing? Well, around our house, we're not playing a ton of video games, but when we do, we've been playing a lot of Pal World still. We're still kind of hitting
Okay.
that.
Out and around.
My son loves it. My daughter, she makes fun of us saying that we just go play Pokemon.
You can't force your Pokemon into labor, though.
Right, exactly. I can't have them hold guns. I mean,
Not yet.
well, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what we've been playing. We've just been playing Pal Worlds, and well, my wife and I have been playing a little bit of Monster Hunter Rise because why not? I won't break the news. Don't worry.
Corporal, what are you playing?
I have been playing Diablo 4 because obviously it just came out, and that's what we're doing our co-stream for. Gotta dive into hell and save everybody from the demons of the deep, right? I still find myself playing another Crab's Treasure.
Oh,
Which,
yes.
You've been on that for a minute.
Yes. So another Crab's Treasure is very Elden Ring-esque, but it is a crab who lost his shell and he's at the bottom of the ocean, and this oyster came to town and now wants everybody to pay taxes, and he has to fight his way so he doesn't have to pay taxes anymore. I mean,
What a
what better
great
of a
setup.
story do you want?
Any undersea game that involves tax evasion is a clear Game of the Year contender in my book.
Yes. And very recently, my wife, Lady Sage, and I have been revisiting our youth, and she's downstairs right now with a friend of ours playing Kingdom Hearts. So,
Mm.
Very nice. Very nice. Dan, what are you getting into besides that vasectomy?
Yeah. I don't do much video games, but my boys and I have been playing Kingdom Rush together. I downloaded it on my phone again after years, and they love it. It's
Nice.
It's good.
I've been
resource management.
playing too many different games. I have ADD when it comes to gaming. I bounce around a lot, way too much. But yeah, doing the new season of Diablo 4, doing the new update and Akuma in Street Fighter 6. I did a closed beta of a game called 33 Immortals, which is like a co-op roguelike where you play with 33 people to fight a boss, and it's amazing.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
No release date yet, which I'm hankering for more. I've been playing some Minecraft with the family. We got my son a Realms to avoid the horrific, painstaking process that it is to hook up multiplayer
You have
locally.
Such a
Dude.
hatred for Microsoft.
Microsoft.
It's why
Hate
we
it.
don't do it a lot.
It's so Thank
It
you.
always
goes
It's
wrong.
horrible.
Yep.
So Realms great. And then I've been playing, speaking of terrible things, Multiverses. I've been trying really hard to like Multiverses, which is the WB like Smash Brothers fighting game.
Okay.
And
Yep.
they did a beta. They basically released it, and then everybody stopped playing it, and then they said, "Oh no, that was just the beta. That was just the beta. We'll be right back." And then they waited a year and didn't say anything. And now they're like, "Hey, we're back. Multiverses. Hey, have you ever wanted to buy a Joker skin for $23? Because we have that now." It's the monetization is absolutely out of control.
Wow.
People are paying it though. People are paying it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they are.
That's hilarious.
it's weird. It's a weird thing. But yeah. So I've moved. I've done it. I've played enough to know what's up with it, and this is probably the only time it's mentioned on the podcast. Sorry, WB.
Harsh. That's
So on to news. Obviously, the news on everybody's mind.
Is it on everybody's mind?
I mean, it's on me and Jay. I don't know. We were talking before you got here. We thought it was everybody's
I got a
mind.
drink. Carry on.
Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh,
We got info. We got a trailer. We have another trailer coming on the 7th at Summer Games Fest.
2 days.
But we got a trailer. I've been freaking out. Oh my god.
Me
We
too.
got there's so much. I could do an entire episode monologue style by myself just about the trailer, but I won't.
We could. I mean, we could just switch to
could.
that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, we'll see guys. Let's catch up next week.
I mean, if you saw the Sunday stream, you were able to see my live reaction to seeing the trailer for the first time. And Presto likes to point out that I didn't show very much enthusiasm in my live reaction. But
I loved it.
it was
Loved your reaction.
It was still very factual. It was yeah, that looks
You were
good.
like, all right, this guy's riding. Who's this guy?
Yeah.
Who cares?
I don't know who he is.
I don't know what's going on there. That thing's ugly. That thing's really ugly.
You know, the big tongue.
Yep. I was like,
I
oh,
literally
he's
yelled.
big. He looks
I
pretty
yelled
cool.
When I
I
saw...
like the leaves in here. You know, this world looks very lived in.
Nice.
It is called a living
banana.
world.
Yeah. So yeah, we're super excited about that. I'm probably gonna make some short form video content breaking down that trailer and the next trailer that we're gonna get in a couple days. But that's out. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. And
watch it with your kids.
Yes, watch it with your kids, watch it with your loved ones, and then go the website. I think it's just monsterhunterwilds.com. Actually, it's monsterhunter.com/wilds. You can go and it has all info about, like, there's a lot more info on the website than there was in the trailer. So
I
if you're
genuinely thought you were going to say, now go to your neighbors and get them to watch it. Like,
I mean, that's a good idea too.
recruit every person you know.
Get them all.
Other news, Multiverses is back. We talked about that. And we want you to follow us on TikTok and YouTube because we're going to start doing more short form content there. And that's not really news, but there was nowhere else to stick it in this episode.
Sweet.
So the name of the game for this episode is Family Games, Family Gaming. Now, Corporal and I, Nintendads, obviously, we mostly stick to video games because it's a video game podcast. But our lovely friends from Navy Studios do all sorts of tabletop stuff. So the format is we're going to talk about video games we like to play with our fams. And then we're going to go into, we have board games in quotes on our show notes. Cause it's like board games, tabletop games. I don't know what
I also didn't know if, like, we wanted to include card games. So the quotes there were like, if it sits on top of a table, it counts.
Oh, sure.
I mean, they're
I
all
had put in
tabletop.
actual box board games. All of the above.
All the
Do all
above.
of it.
Yeah. Well, if there's any like more like TTRPG, like No Thank You Evil or something along those lines, definitely feel free to just like put them in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I will.
T.S. Villa says, good evening, everybody.
Yeah, well, Villa, what's up?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Corporal, we're gonna start with you. What are some of the video games that you like to play with the family?
So, we have been doing a lot of. I'm getting alert sounds in my headset. It's throwing me off. I apologize. We are been doing a lot of Mario Kart. the little kids know how to walk up to the TV and turn on the Nintendo Switch and get Mario Kart up and running. And it's such an easy family game to do. So that's been our thing.
I'm only laughing. Have you ever played Don't Drink and Drive Mario Kart?
I want to
This
play
is not
it.
a family.
I have been
game.
talking about playing that on stream for like a year.
It's really fun. I love seeing everyone's strategies. But
So
sorry, I didn't mean to
we may
derail
or may
that.
not have come very close to getting our streaming rights revoked on Facebook because of the
For
drinking
drinking.
streams we used to do.
Unbelievable.
When we first started, we were making way too much money because we were asking for stars or points from Facebook for shots. You would give us shots, you would give us stars, we would take a shot. And we had several friends who,
Trying to
no
kill you.
lie,
Yes.
no lie, cleared out their credit cards because they were watching us become stupid.
Yeah, okay, well.
Those VODs got nuked. There's nowhere you can watch that.
Jake's like, I'll stick with my coffee.
We can't really remember most of it, so it basically never happened. It lives in the minds and imaginations of some of our older audience members.
I don't remember it anyway. So.
Marty is in Facebook chat right now. One of the people who probably does remember that.
What's up, Marty?
Oh my god.
One of your attempted murderers.
Oh, cheers to King George. King George,
wherever you are.
put Corporal in the dirt many times.
That's
Yes.
awesome. Skull.
Yeah, I like Mario Kart. I used to hate Mario Kart because I'm a very competitive person, and Mario Kart has a lot of things that make me very angry. But I've mellowed out in my ripe old age.
So the second game, I purposely didn't fill this out when I put the show notes together because I didn't want to receive the hate. Anybody who's been watching us long enough, take a shot. You'll know that Presto and I will use the show notes to banter back and forth with one another. And most of the time, I'm the one who makes the show notes, so I'll put some vile thing in here, and then he'll be reading the show notes, and then he just smirks on screen, and it brings me so much joy.
I'm watching you do it right now.
Yes. This is how we roll.
I also love your guys' handles inside of Google Docs.
So yeah. So I used to still like to play with the family digital Uno.
Okay.
Digital Uno.
Yeah, digital Uno on like the Xbox. You all get a controller and you play Uno.
Dude. And there's nothing better than having the cards in your hand. I'm sorry.
Talking to tabletop guys.
Slap down an Uno reverse card. That's like the whole point of the game.
You gotta slam on the table, all that. Like,
yeah, I knew I was gonna get the hate for it. That's why I didn't write it down. That's why I didn't write it down.
I mean, correct. You're very. That's true.
I'm slightly outside. I don't have an opinion either way. What is it that makes it so desirable?
Well, so you can.
It gives you a reason to use your Xbox.
You can change the themes.
Served. That was well
done. I'm done. That was well played, my friend. Well played.
We are not worthy.
Yeah, welcome to the stream.
You can change the themes of your cards and the theme of the room in which you're playing in. So that can be fun.
you can walk to a different room and play.
Yes.
Have you ever, as soon as you said this, though, the first thing I thought of, have you ever heard the meme about the two people going back and forth about Uno on Xbox? It's like one person's like, you have Uno on Xbox, and the person's like, I don't have Uno on Xbox. And the first person's like, no, it's a free game. Everybody has Uno on Xbox. It comes with the Xbox. Second person, I don't have Uno on Xbox. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna buy it. He goes, no, you don't understand. It comes with the console, and it's just look it up after the episode. It's really funny.
I had to. I have an Xbox. I didn't think I had Uno.
You have Uno on Xbox. I'm telling you.
That's so good.
We're live memeing here.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness
All right.
gracious.
We're speaking honesty. here. This is
Moving
good.
right along. Oh, it's me. So one game that is not Minecraft, which we'll get into in a minute. Mario Maker 2. I got my son Mario Maker 2. Actually, let me rewind. About a year ago, we rented Mario Maker 2 from our local library. This is the millionth
you don't
reminder.
know about the library scheme, you clearly haven't been
We
watching
talk about this
the
like every
Nintendads.
other episode, that you can rent video games, especially Switch games. I don't know about Xbox games. Definitely Switch games from your local library. And you rent them and it's free. And you get them for 2 weeks,
if
which
you're
for a lot of
all
Switch
about-
games.
If you're all about that community pay-in, like that local
Yeah, if you just want
library
to
is where it's
try,
at.
if you want to try a game out.
Yeah.
So
I'm okay. Wait. I'm sensing a little hate on the local library here. We can't have
Oh,
that.
no,
We can't have that. Listen,
no.
This guy runs games at the local library.
No.
They pay my
Library.
bills, all right.
My wife's a librarian. I love local
So is mine.
libraries.
Okay, so you and I get along.
Yes.
All right.
See, Monster Hunter, librarians, you're a man of taste. What can
Oh,
I say?
libraries, they taste good.
His wife's the librarian.
There's
Jim
all
Preston has
sorts.
nothing to say.
There's all sorts of themes that we are just now discovering
yes,
together.
Yes.
I'm gonna totally show how much of a lame person I am. Are you still doing physical games for Switch? Or is it some
when
kind
they're
of
from the
digital rent?
library, yeah.
Okay.
Look, I got some physical games.
I
I
am
got
down
right
with
back there.
physical stuff. I'm not a big fan of the digitals.
Right
though.
there. You know why? Because I
Okay.
sell. When I beat them and I don't like them, I sell them. Super Smash
That's
Brothers, your
legit.
netcode's garbage. Psh, $5 at the next garage sale. See you later.
Crushed it, and now I'm done with it.
Yeah. Like beer cans. I'm
Okay,
done.
that's really cool.
So yeah, Mario Maker 2, we rented it from our local library, and
Yep.
he played it, and then like probably a year later, spontaneously, he's like, "Can we play Mario Maker?" I'm like, "No." And he kept asking and asking, and I'm like, "All right." So we got it for him for Christmas this past year, and he makes cruel and unusual levels for me to beat. He's 6 years old and he's already like just creating the most sinister, you jump and there's a hidden block and you fall into the lava type. And I make the nice little levels for
awesome.
him with like little light challenges, but we have a lot of fun going back and forth. I build him levels and he builds me levels. And they added DLC from the time we rented it to now, where you can actually create like an overworld. Like if you think Super Mario World, you can create like
wow.
20 levels and put them on a map and like basically make your own mini game.
That's really cool.
Which is, it's fun. We also played Mario Wonder, which came out earlier this year, which was fantastic. Also multiplayer, which was fun. And I have not tried Paper Mario yet. That I don't think he's not fluid enough at reading to do Paper Mario or
Gotta get the
Mario
RPG.
RPG.
It is. It's actually really good.
Is it? Okay.
I remember playing it, one of the Paper Marios on, I think it was GameCube.
GameCube.
Yeah,
Wow.
played it on GameCube. I have. It's my GameCube. My GameCube's back there
Oh,
somewhere
Mine's right
in the
over there.
dark. There we go. See again.
Yeah.
Taste.
Connecting.
Hey, Corporal, I have an Xbox, so we.
I appreciate you.
Hey, look.
I appreciate you.
I'm gonna start growing out my beard and invest in some classy hats because we got glasses. This is very like
Yeah.
lining up.
This is making sense to me.
I mean, Dan's got the Zelda shield in the background. I'm wearing the Zelda
Right?
shirt.
Oh my
like,
god.
this
I
is
mean-
weird. This is just getting weird.
Yeah. It's becoming like an I Spy book or something.
Oh
Like,
boy.
what else can we pick out in the background?
Hey, you technically have never seen Corporal and I in the same room together. It was all
That's
my
true.
so-
Oh, is that a book with a red dragon you have? Oh, that's so weird. That's
right
very
here.
strange.
This-
The other family game I like is Minecraft. And I've always loved Minecraft. And I've hate the mess of mismanagement it has become thanks to Microsoft. But we got a Realms, and I have to admit, begrudgingly, having a Realms makes the entire experience a lot easier and a lot more fun. Until there's an update, and the realms doesn't update automatically, but that hasn't happened yet. So
I was just gonna say, was that the first positive thing you said is about Microsoft?
in about 10 years, yes.
Well, they try. Of course, they had to make it difficult. They had to monetize it. Hey,
Yeah.
we'll make your life easier behind
Can't-
this paywall.
Can't run in Java forever, I guess.
I mean, it could.
It still does. They still have it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Mario Maker 2 and Minecraft are the two main. We play some other ones, but those are the two that we're like consistently going back to. And Minecraft is the only video game that my wife will play willingly.
Willingly, yes.
Fascinating.
Yes. Corporal, what do you got?
We already did me. Video game. You want to move on to Jacob?
He doesn't remember because of your
No.
Did it? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm reading this out of order. I'm in the wrong section. Okay, yes, Jacob.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Well, I mentioned before we're playing a lot of Pal Worlds for video games. Obviously, we're more of a tabletop RPG community over here, so we do a lot of that. But, we did, for a while there, we were actually into the Minecraft dungeons pretty hard. My kids loved it. I found it kind of boring, but it was unique, and we had a lot of fun. But, yeah, Pal Worlds and then Monster Hunter Rise. Like, that is the staples in our house right now.
Monster Hunter Rise.
Now, how old are your kids? Do they play Monster Hunter Rise yet?
Yes, so my 13-year-old loves it, my 10-year-old loves it, my 5-year-old loves it, my 3-year-old watches it, and I'm sure my 4-month-old is gonna love Monster Hunter because that's
Probably.
how you live. But yeah, out of all 5 of my children, the oldest 3 very much enjoy it,
Very cool.
and my wife. I force her to play with me. She enjoys it. Actually,
I'm gonna have to try that.
Building a little army of your little offspring to play Monster Hunter with because nobody else will play it with you.
Yes.
correct.
That's
how
how
we
exactly
did.
what I
That's
did.
the Monster Hunter
life. But yeah, I mean that's it. That's pretty simple over here. We love Pal Worlds. I was mentioning before we started, we had a friend who pays for a server, and there's a group of people. It's a good time. I may or may not use video games as a reward for good behavior and good grades.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We use that, especially with the summer coming up when there's no like school structure. It's like, oh, you're home? Because we usually make my son finish his homework before there's any screen time involved. So, but there's no homework. It's gotta be like, all right, every weed you pull is 30 seconds of Minecraft.
Yeah.
Dan, what do you got?
Your Annie's too high, dude. You got like 5 seconds. Don't let the kids do it. Don't.
You can play Minecraft for as long as you spend weeding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Real
yes.
time.
Quid pro quo. I'm even more lame than Jake. We almost do no video games. It's all tabletop stuff.
All tabletop.
I mean, basically, dice game's the thing for us. But I mean, my kids love Minecraft when we can get it to work. As you said, it's the bane of my existence when the cousins come over and want to all play together locally. And I'm like, anyways, but like I
If
said,
you're doing it on the Xbox, it's a lot easier. Just saying.
I do it on the Xbox, so I don't even know what it must be like on the
On the
PC
computer,
there.
yes. Okay, that's true.
Oh,
Because you spawn in different places. I'm like, why don't we all spawn in the same location? So I got anyways, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but for video games, I mean, we're doing Kingdom Rush together. We were playing a little of the Pathfinder Kingmaker game. I'd run it a little, and my sons would help choose the options and stuff because we're running the Kingmaker campaign as West March in our Discord. So I was doing that to kind of refresh my memory on it. So that was a fun way to do that.
you getting any Baldur's Gate?
I haven't. Well, wait, probably not. It's too expensive. It's like I could do that, or I could buy some Roll for Combat stuff instead.
Yeah,
That's fair.
That's fair. That's fair.
I would like to. It looks awesome. We talked about doing it and maybe like dressing in costume and playing live and stuff because we would make costumes that match our characters. But
One day we need to do
I'm lame. I'm a boomer, guys.
we need to do a proper like cosplay episode. I think the only times
Yes.
we've ever dressed up is we did a Halloween because our podcast anniversary is right before Halloween, and I think we did one 2 years ago where I had just come from a Halloween party, so I was in full Captain Jack Sparrow, like eyeliner, like wig, everything, and I stayed in character for the entire stream. That was one of the drinking streams that we were talking about earlier.
Oh, well, you were in character.
Yes, I was way too in character.
Yeah, and that particular stream, you're right. At the time, Lady Sage and I we're house sitting at My Name is Jeff's condo, and I came back to Celebration in a full Dead Skull outfit.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah, I was a skull holding a wine glass, because why not?
Yeah, classy. He's always got the fancy drinks.
Dude, that's awesome.
I'm a man of taste. What can I say?
Yes. Oh, you have to dress up.
We'll have to do another. We'll have to do another proper like cosplay. We also dressed up for the Ninja Turtles game release. We had like the masks and pizza.
Yep.
Those are the priorities. Actually, you nailed it.
So that's the video game side of things. Let's get into more you guys' world of.
Yeah.
I don't know what the proper, like, is there a proper term that encompasses like board games, tabletop games?
Tabletop covers it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It covers it all.
There's an argument if you ask Professor Dungeon Master, tabletop role-playing games should really just be called role-playing games. The video games have kind of stolen that. It's not accurate.
It is truth, though.
Right?
What does the OGL say? How do they define it legally?
Things we're not talking about. Microsoft, OGL.
I mean, I always refer to it as if it's not plugged into a computer, then it's analog. If it's the analog gaming.
An analog game. That just makes me think like pinball, though.
Yeah.
It could include that as well. I mean, generally we say tabletop because card games, board games, anything you put on a table or the floor.
Yep.
Generally.
Floor top games.
Yeah.
Like
Twister. I have in
Twister.
my thing Space Invaders. So we usually do that on the floor because it's just big. It takes up a lot of space.
Oh, I have heard of that one.
It's actually pretty fun. Shout out to the Great Mustache. If anybody knows him, he owns Open Legends. He got it for my kids, and they love that. It's pretty fun. It's straight up the Space Invaders game, but in a board game style. So you're actually using a little flicker thing to send tokens to try and hit the mothership or the things. And there's rules for how they move down.
He's in the Twitch chat, and he just dropped in his little smiley face.
Hey, Mustache. Dude, the kids still love it. We play it all the time. He's one's great.
Stalking. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's everywhere. So yeah, that one's very good for the family, and it's hilarious. I mean, we play it with my 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, and they all love it.
I wonder how that would work with cats, because we have 2 cats, and I feel like they would get involved.
We have 3 and a dog.
Do they ever like intercept?
Not if I'm there. I know from now. But that would be funny, actually. And what you do is you homebrew rules for when the cat intercepts.
Yeah, right.
That's
the cat is the rogue alien element.
Yes. So yeah, there's that. Well, we mentioned No Thank You Evil. That one for RPGs, I really enjoy. I just did the first part of the adventure that comes with it. So that one's really cool. It's an RPG using the cipher system. So there's cards with items and companions and stuff, and then dice. You're just rolling D6s. So like my 3-year-old was playing. Obviously we did the math for her, but my 5 and 7-year-old could do that simple math because it's all just 6-sided dice. And it's really cool because it also uses, to create your character, you do an adjective, a noun, and a verb. And you select from those options to build a proper grammatic sentence, and that creates your character with abilities.
Oh.
So it's really fun. So it's like, I'm a fast ninja who fights. I can't remember exactly what they are, but it's that kind of thing. And depending on what level they are reading-wise, that's what decides how many things they get. So it was really fun. My wife played a cat folk that her companion was a flea. So it was awesome.
That's terrible.
I just suddenly got a D&D character idea in my head.
Oh no.
So you know how Presto with your character, you've got your
Yeah.
god. We're calling him his god.
I play a warlock in our campaign.
Your cat character, where your flea is your
patron.
Patron.
Yes.
A warlock has a patron. Yes.
Patron. Yes.
I play a caffeine addicted warlock with a container of never ending coffee.
That's awesome.
With the Ukrainian accent. It's I miss our D&D
Specifically
campaign.
Ukrainian. I love
Yes.
Yes. But the flea could be your patron as your cat.
That's disrespectful. You'd be smited.
They're pretty nasty buggers.
I played No Thank You Evil for the first time at EcclesiaCon.
Oh, sweet.
With my son. He came Sunday morning,
Yes.
and we played at Wes's table.
Yeah,
and it was super fun. Yeah. He was into
That's
it.
great. I had picked it up a while, and it was when Wes did his video that I was like, man, I got to get that out. I have that. I should try it. And we loved it. It was really easy to pick up and run, too.
Yeah, he talked about it when he was a guest on our podcast. I guess 2 or 3 episodes back now. But it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I might have to get that.
It's nice set, some fun art, and it's really easy to pick up and play. But though on that note, Jake and I were talking when we were prepping for tonight too about not underestimating your kids, because Jake runs Pathfinder with all his kids.
Anything I've thrown at my children, they pick up. I mean, at the end of the day, it's collaborative storytelling with just different rules of dice. So it's not that, but they pick it up. It's amazing. Like, I've played some really heavy, what we call crunchy, and the kids pick it up sometimes even better than me. And I'm like, whoa, they got them sponge brains. And so
yeah,
for
kids
all
learn
out there who
fast.
are like on the edge of like, do I play a tabletop game with my children? As long as it's appropriate, of course you do.
They can learn Monster Hunter. They can learn Pathfinder. That's
yes.
not exactly the same thing.
I just
but
play Monster Hunter in Pathfinder with them, and that makes it even better.
There you go. You got to get the Monster Hunter board game I was telling you about.
No, I know. I actually have the link up on my computer at all times, just as a constant reminder of something I should get eventually.
It's a permanently open tab.
It is every day.
I mean, when we're talking about tabletop games, is there a genre of games that you guys will lean into with the family? Is it something specific, or are you guys just across the board, doesn't matter?
Jacob will do anything. I mean, we got Catan, we got Magic the Gathering, we got card games, I got a whole cart built.
Champions of Aidnir.
Yeah, I got a whole cart built for just board games, tabletops, Pokemon cards, anything that I can get my hands on without breaking my bank.
Yes. I tend towards more of the dice games just because that's what I like. And my eldest likes to, he's a game master in the making. So, unfortunately. So he loves doing those.
It's an expensive thing to get into.
Yeah, right. Although I have to say, like, our first family game, I just had some D6 and we just started making up a story. I think my middle son was a fish that could fly. He was like some kind of fish that could be out of the water, and they fought lava monsters, and mom's there kind of shepherding them as a character. So you don't have to spend any money outside of a couple 6-sided dice, and you can start rolling. It's that simple, because like Jake said, it's collaborative storytelling. So that's definitely where I tend to fall. And then we homeschool too, so I use a lot of it to incorporate the schooling into it. And Jake and Michelle do the same thing. So making puzzles, I've done things where I made a ship and they had to get all the cargo back in the ship, but it was balancing weights. So each one had a number and they had to make it even on each side. So it's different little scholastic things you can throw in to the dice games that are not just rolling dice, but actual physical puzzles they can do. So that's another reason we end up playing it. And also why we don't play a lot of video games, because it takes a little more time with the board games and stuff. Like you can't just sit down and turn it on. Sometimes a little more prep for the parents. So that's Although again, I sat down with D6 and I just started making up a story, and the kids, they'll go wild.
My little one, Sushi Cat, she absolutely loves to play board games, but the thing is that she always wants to get into these deep, in-depth games And
They come
every
with a book
time
for the rules.
yes, every time it's like a 4-hour adventure. So we have to like try to critique which ones we're gonna play. And we can't do these 3. We can do these 2 though.
Yeah, you guys do play some heavy
Yeah.
lifting games.
What are you playing, Corporal?
Well, I mean, I'm particularly referring to Mansions of Madness in something that she likes to do that takes a really long time. But then there's also like there's this like games that she likes to make. She likes to make games. Like she'll draw out
Ooh.
little cards, or she'll like just yesterday she was like made these blind cards and will hand them out, and they're yoga poses, and you have to do the yoga pose to her specifications, or these dance moves because she's in dance. You have to do these dance moves to her specifications in order to pass. And if you don't do it right, then you've got to do the redeeming card. And if you get the redeeming card right, then you can move on. Like
I mean,
she
she's
does.
Can you please stream that one in particular the next time?
Gosh.
I'd like to see you do yoga. I mean,
Yes,
I'd like to see this
I would
happen.
love to see you do yoga and dancing challenges made by her.
Pirouettes
Watch your
and-
daughter just annihilate.
Maybe with a
Pure
drinking
judgment.
game element in there, like that's
she
your
can
redeem
fold
cards.
herself in half, so like she can bend herself backwards so that her feet will touch her shoulders.
Amazing.
Like she's got flexibility that I will never have. So I'm gonna get tramped no matter
You
what.
always lose.
Yeah.
You're always on the road to redemption.
Yep.
You can't. There's no beating the house. There's no beating the
No.
house.
That's right.
Wins. That's awesome.
That's really good. That's amazing. That's another thing I love about tabletop games is it inspires that. It's a running joke in tabletop that you always end up homebrewing, and like everybody and their mother is making their own system because it just inspires you to want to game design because you start to. I have one person called seeing the matrix behind it when you realize the little game mechanics of it. And it's really the same for video games. I found, because I did a lot of video games when I was a teenager, and I started tabletop when I was like 17, but it was close to the Satanic Panic, so I wasn't able to do it. Long story. It's not my parents. It's not my parents. I just had no friends who were doing it because I didn't know this guy in the hat down here yet.
Yep.
So I stopped playing for a while and I came back, and it's influenced how I run games and stuff because I tend to find that I have this video game from all the years playing video games back in the good old N64 days and stuff like that. That's influenced how I run games slightly differently.
It's funny that you mentioned like wanting to make things and using creativity. My son, Little Red, like I said, my office is his closet, right? So his bedroom's right over here, and his desk is right next to the entrance to my office, his closet. And his desk is just covered in papers that look like mazes. And that's what it is. There's like starts and there's ends and there's little bosses and there's trap doors, and you pick up the papers and they actually lay down on top of each other because they're layers to different things. And he really gets into that.
That's epic.
I'll buy them off of you.
So you know how much time that will save me?
Yes. Right? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, and I was loving it. What was that? What was that Mario game, Presto, that you were talking about?
Mario Maker.
That same idea in Minecraft too of building those. We used to. I'll bring up Halo because it's pretty awesome, or it was. Not to be too spicy.
That's
damn you, Microsoft! You did it again.
But which one was it where you could build your own levels? You did the Forge, right?
Oh yeah.
That was, oh my gosh, we spent.
They had that in
hours
3.
Two
I mean, they have it
and
in
three.
Infinite now, but
Three seems right.
No, I'm talking the real ones. Yeah.
Yeah. They started it with 2, but it was extremely basic. 3 is where they had the full on Forge mode, and
you could turn
was
into
epic.
a monitor, right? You could
Yep.
switch. So we do
and then
those
fly
constant-
around to do the yep.
You couldn't get killed. I love that though, and I think that's world building, and that's why I love Minecraft for that reason. When we can get it to work, it's pretty awesome.
So I have a love-hate relationship with Minecraft in the sense that if I see something on TV or any other video game, or most recently for me, Dungeons and Dragons, I will then build said map or building or town in Minecraft.
Dude.
Yeah,
epic.
We should do a D&D campaign, like a little mini adventure from our campaign in Minecraft.
We could do it. We could do it.
You got to make the login and multiplayer part of the problem for the party. Like, they got to find each other first. That's the first adventure.
You're all scattered to the winds. You're on Xbox. Unfortunately, you're on Switch. You're screwed.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I might want to collaborate on that. That's a genius idea.
It is. That's a pretty good idea. You wake up trapped at a desk, screen in front of you, Minecraft login in front. What do you do?
It's not synced with your Microsoft account. You rolled a natural 1.
Oh, it's so frustrating. It's not even funny, guys. It grinds my gears. And then when you
Jacob's over here getting stressed.
Yeah, we're laughing now, but we were all saying harsh words under our breath when it was happening. It's like, can I play now? No.
I'm trying. Can't you see I'm trying? It's too real, Roy.
So let's just go down the list. I'll go first. The one board game that I typically will end up playing with the family, I've got one called Gnome Treasure, and it's a 2-person game, but it can be entertaining for the rest of the family to watch while you're waiting your turn. It's a board that sits between you and your partner, and they have a maze and you have a maze, and you draw cards and you have to find specific treasures, and the treasure is different on each map. So like I could have a book and a magnifying glass, and she could have the key and the map, and she will have to like try to find the key in the map, but I have the key in the map on my side of the board. And she wants to find it. I have to verbalize to her where she can go, but my maze is different than her maze. So where I want to go up, she can't. And where she wants to go, she may have the ability to. So it's like a parallel universe. And
fascinating.
I have to use her map that I cannot see. And we have to talk through each other in order to navigate this maze, in order to find the treasures that we want, in order to unlock the game. It's actually pretty cool.
That sounds really cool.
Now, I think is it actually called Gnomes at Night?
Yes, that's what it is. I call it Gnomes. We call it Gnomes Treasure because that's how we know it. But Gnomes at Night.
You have your own name.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
Yep. Yes, man. Gnomes at Night. That's the name of the game.
That's another great point too for the tabletop games is the social aspect to it.
Yeah,
you have to engage, which is why too video games for multiplayer stuff is so good, or any kind of thing where you can share.
Whenever we play Minecraft as a family, even though it's easier for us all to be playing in different rooms on different devices.
Yes.
I pay the price and I like move my entire office around. I hook the Switch up to a second monitor. I play in like a weird Gollum from Lord of the Rings pose in the corner of my laptop, because when we play, we all can play in the same room.
Yeah.
So we can like
LAN
talk.
Party right there.
It is a LAN party. It's way less fun than the old LAN parties setting it up. But once it's there, then yeah, it's great.
Jacob, I'm also super impressed that you like instinctively knew what game this was. I have to assume that you've played it.
I have a problem.
It's a good problem most of the time.
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah. Oh man.
As you start explaining, I'm like, oh yeah, that one. That is a good one.
The entire rest of the episode is just going to be us describing games and you telling us what the actual name of the game is.
The actual game is. We could do that.
Drink a game to that one.
Every
time he gets it right, we have to drink. If he gets it wrong, he has to drink.
Oh, there we go.
I will pull up the unplugged episodes and I'll remove the link from this chat so you can't see it. We'll just go down the list.
That's awesome.
Ah.
Well, what's taco, cat, goat, cheese, pizza?
Oh yeah. Oh, and they're yelling at me. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I didn't follow notes.
So Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza is a card game.
Okay.
But it's an interactive card game, and you can play with multiple people. I think it's like up to 8 players. And you get a set of cards, and you have to say taco, cat, goat, cheese, pizza, because that's the order of the rhyme. But the card you have in your hand may not match the word that you are saying. If you put down a card and you don't follow the rhythm when you're going around the table, then you have to take the cards. There's also specialty cards that are in. So like there's the narwhal, there's the gorilla, there's a couple different ones. And if that card shows up, you have to do an action. So like the narwhal, you've got a narwhal, and then you've got to slap the table. If there's the gorilla, you got to bang your chest, slap the table. If there's the gopher, you got to dig the ground and then slap the table. And you have to follow the rhythm, only interrupt the rhythm if there's a specialty card, and the object is to get rid of all your cards.
Wow.
This is another game I would really want you to stream video of you playing this.
That would be hilarious.
It's a great game to play with the kids. It's very simple and basic. It takes maybe 20 minutes to do a round, but like it can really help
huge.
like pump up the table and have a lot of fun before you end up doing something else.
Yes.
So
That's
a great
fun.
icebreaker game. Honestly,
Yeah.
So I run a lot of games with random strangers. Like that would be really fun to like break the ice and do some silliness, you know, loosen up the table.
Yep.
Oh,
Get people moving.
Awesome.
I'll be honest, I'm gonna add a third one in here just because it's a great game that I have found. It's actually my brother-in-law has brought it to the house enough times that we went out and we purchased our own version of it. And I want to make sure I get this right because I'll say the wrong thing and then somebody else will point it out that I don't know the name of my own game.
Who's he talking about?
Hey, you own it. You can call it.
What is this? We should all make guesses.
Yeah, you describe it and we'll guess what we think it's called.
I mean, I'm going to say Settlers of Catan right off the bat, but I mean...
Not Settlers of Catan.
People love that game, though.
That's classic.
That's been around for a while. It was definitely a lot of fun to play. My kids love it.
Is it Yahtzee? You know what? Since you're sort of a dice goblin, Dan, have you ever played Liar's Dice?
No, I've heard of it.
It's the game that they play in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, everybody has 5 dice, and you have a cup, and you shake your dice, and you put them down, and you look at what you have, and you go around the table, and you say a number value for the dice, and how many of that dice you think there are between everybody that's playing. So I'm gonna look at my dice and I'm gonna say, I think there's 5 2s. I think between all of us, there are 5 dice that we've rolled a 2. And it starts very like low numbers, so you're safe. But then the next person has to either increase the amount of dice or the value number. So if I say 5 2s, then Corporal has to say 6 2s or 5 3s. And you keep going around, and at any point, anybody can call anybody else and say, you're lying. I think you're lying. And then everybody reveals their dice. You count up. If the person saying it is, in fact, wrong, and there's not that many, you take a dice out and you drink if you're playing it like a real pirate.
Yep.
But if there is that amount, then the person who accused them of being a liar takes their dice out and takes a drink. And you play it until there's one person who has dice left.
Okay.
Not that I
Interesting.
condone betting, but you can also turn it into a betting game.
Yeah, you could turn it into a betting game. There's nothing like betting with your liver, though.
Yeah, you gotta
Because
bet
then
with
by
your
the
life.
third or fourth game, it's way interesting. You just get
That's true.
17 threes.
So the third game that I'm going to bring up, just because we have so much fun playing it, is called Rival Restaurants. And Rival Restaurants, you choose your chef, and then you choose your restaurant. Each chef has its own perk, and each restaurant has its own perk.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the first part of the round is you have to go to the store, and you have to say which store you're going to go to. So it's the vegetable store, the meat store, the dairy store, or like the fine gourmet store. And each store has a deck, and each deck has a shelf, and you can buy from what's on the shelf. At the end of every round, the shelf is expired, so it goes to the trash, and then the
Okay.
deck has to be reshuffled for what is on the shelf. And then you come back, and you only have so much money each round, and you've got to buy ingredients to make certain recipes. So if you went to the meat store, you can only buy meat. So you may have to wait 2 or 3 rounds in order to get all of the ingredients you need in order to cook something. Once you cook something, if it's a good thing, you'll get likes, and then you'll also build trash. You have too much trash, you lose points. You have to go back to the store to get rid of your trash at the dump. But the object
my
is to
gosh.
make your restaurant the best restaurant you can make. And each
Yes.
chef has different perks. So, like, you could have the cafeteria lady. Cafeteria lady can use any kind of meat for whatever recipe you have. So if it calls for hamburger, but you've got pork, that hamburger was made from pork.
That sounds
so good.
amazing.
It's a pretty cool game.
I'm gonna have to look that one up. What's like the floor? Like, what's the minimum age you think could keep up playing this game?
They say 10 plus on the box.
Yeah, they say 10 on the box. Sushi Cat is younger than that. She was 8 when we first started playing it.
I was gonna say, I always find it's like you can usually go 2 or 3 years younger than what
Kids
they
that
say.
grow up in restaurants.
And
catch on quickly.
honestly, it's
Also
a
true.
pretty forgiving thing because everybody is going at the same time. So it's not like one person is going to be singled out for doing something wrong. You can just, hey, you're supposed to do this first. This is where we're going to be right now. And like, because you're all going at the same time to achieve your own individual goal, but you're all moving at the same time. So it's pretty forgiving.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Tag teaming, having one parent, depending on how many kids you got playing, a parent with 1 or 2 kids helping them. So you're just the helper moving around. So they feel like they're a part of it. They're starting to engage. I found
Sous chefs.
Yes.
Oh, is that what it's called?
No, I'm just that's
what
he's calling them sous chefs.
It was too good. You're on it. Woo. Presto's been on fire tonight with it. Just got him right there.
I'm riffing.
Yep.
I don't even remember what I was gonna say. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Sous chef is it. But no, in the case of rival restaurants, yes, the parent could be the chef and the child can be the sous chef in that moment, and they can help play that way. Which recipe do you want to make? Okay, where do you want to go first? That kind of thing.
Yes.
So yeah, I hear what you're saying, Dan. That's a pretty good idea.
I was remembering what I was going to say too is I found it's survival of the fittest with the younger children because they have to keep up. But my daughter's the youngest. She's catching on quicker because she's just there playing with us. So she's just watching. And like we said before, it's amazing how fast kids pick stuff up. Even if they don't fully understand the behind, the reasons why or something, they pick up the rhythms of whatever game you're playing pretty quickly.
Yeah, I feel like the more you play games too, the faster they are to like pick up rules and be able to adapt and know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cool. I'm up next. So one I think this was like the first family like tabletop game that we got, but it's Dragomino or Dragomino, which is like there's King Domino, which is I guess like the adult version of this that I never heard of until we got Dragomino, But it's basically like you have dominoes with different like land types, and you connect the land types, and every time you connect a land type, you get an egg, and the egg is either empty or it has a dragon in it. So it's really simple. It's fun. There's a lot of like chance, so there's not a ton of strategy, but there's just enough because you can like sort of position, and there's more advanced rules that you can play if you're playing with older kids. But it's got dragons and little land tiles that you connect. So that was enough to get my son into it, and we play that probably more than anything else, and we've had it the longest. So it stood the
Dragons
testament
always win.
of time. Yeah, dragons are the best.
That's really cool, dude. I have not heard of that one.
Yeah, you should look it up. It's really cool. It's just very simple, but I don't know. My son has not gotten sick of it.
Finding eggs while exploring the mysterious island.
See, it sounds cooler when you say it.
Professional
The
game
DM?
Yeah,
master.
I was about to say the TMS over here.
The second game, we have a bunch of different board games, but the second one that we play the most is Tetris. Which is it's the board game Tetris. I guess it's not a board game, but you basically have these plastic towers, and it's almost like Connect 4, where you will randomly get the Tetramino, and everybody gets the same Tetraminos in the same order, but on your little plastic thing, there's like bonuses where like, okay, if you put a an L block here, you get a bonus, but yours might be if you put a yellow square here, you get a bonus. So it's not everybody just making the same shapes, but so you get the little plastic Tetramino and you drop them into your thing, and it's very tactile and very satisfying when you like drop it in and it goes like right in the spot you made for it. And it's heartbreaking when you miscount how many rows over and you just totally screw yourself. It's just like real Tetris.
That is genius.
It's very fun. We've brought that one to a couple different family parties, like with my nieces and nephews. And as soon as we bust it out, everybody's like, oh, what is that? What is that, Tetris? Like, because everybody kind of knows how to play Tetris, so it's easy to sort of explain how to play it like analog. But yeah, it's cool. It's just plain cool. And I will mention also an honorable mention. I wanted to say it before, but we moved on. Something that you were saying where you just had a D6 and you were just sort of doing like interactive storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I have an ongoing bedtime story called The Pirate Queen with my son.
Dude.
And it's not every night, because that, again, I gotta be like, oh, if you're good, we'll do Pirate Queen tonight. And it's still like, I could bribe him with chocolate chip cookies, Minecraft, or Pirate Queen, and he'll go Pirate Queen every time, which just little victories. But it's basically just like an ongoing interactive story that I just make up as we go along. And every once in a while, if there's like a really critical thing where he's like, I want to do a backflip off my ship and cut the rope and all this, and I'm like, okay, hold on, I need to get the D20 and we need to see how this is going to play out. And it's it's usually a pretty low roll that he has to hit. But yeah, it's what you were saying. It's just interactive storytelling. Yeah. I try to give him creative problems. Like the one I always tell people is he was fighting a giant monster that was made out of dirty laundry, because I feel like that's the monster that I'm fighting every day of my life, is just a giant pile of laundry.
Dishes and laundry, man.
So I made him have to fight the laundry. And, he always goes the brute force approach. He's like, I want to swing my sword. I'm like, all right, you swing into a pair of tube socks and nothing happens because he's made out of laundry. That's not gonna, you can't, out muscle laundry. And he had to, figure out that you have to get the laundry wet so it's heavy. And then, but so little things like that. Corporal always says, so you need to DM. You need to be a DM. And I'm like, but there's so many rules. Yeah. It's too much stuff to learn. Maybe someday.
When I first started doing the D&D story for our Nintendads April Adventures group, I all I could think about is all the crazy, wild stories that Presto used to tell each other back in high school,
Oh,
and I was like, I could pull out General Och right now, and nobody would know what I'm talking about, but I would know they would cause Presto so much anxiety.
That's called long-term investment.
I feel like we do have to clarify this because this is interactive storytelling at its finest. We grew up at the beach, and I skipped school to go to the beach one day. And I did not have many days left that I was like being okay to be absent. So I sent Corporal in with a note for the teacher, and I did not tell him what the note said. And I'm like, okay, when our homeroom teacher asks why I'm not here, tell her what this note says. Don't read it ahead of time. And it was the most unhinged, just
I was
crazy story.
I was too young to have the confidence for public speaking. So as it was, this caused me anxiety to begin with. But I had to stand there and tell this story about how General Och had to take Preston back in time to save some sort of wild, crazy thing and a refrigerator, and
there was a ham sandwich. The whole there was revolving around like the holy ham sandwich.
It was just.
Did you get the whole story out before the home teacher showed you up?
Yeah, I got it out. She allowed it.
I got in so much trouble.
Yeah.
I got chewed out. She's like, as much as I admire your creative writing skills, if you skip school again, I will fail you.
That's so awesome.
You were like not even trying to mess. You're just like, I know what I'm doing, and I'm just gonna go ahead first.
And that's Presto.
Like, I'm gonna skip school, and if there's an opportunity to get Corporal in trouble somehow by something I'm doing that he's not even involved with, extra points.
He goes on vacation one time and he's flying back, and like when he lands, he was like, "Oh yeah, I jumped off a 50-foot cliff into snake-infested waters with cheddar cheese in my stomach." And I was like, "Where do you come up with this?"
I have family in Missouri. What can I say? That's the only way I can explain that story.
What? Okay.
Moving right along.
That's good. That's so good. Roll Constitution.
Facts.
This is what happens when you start a podcast with people you grew up with. Just this kind of stuff.
Yes,
it comes out when you have guests on the show. Of course, the natural point.
Poor Wes is in chat going, "What is going on?"
Yeah, I love it. He came in at the right time.
Hi, Wes.
Hi, Wes. Dan.
I guess that brings me to me. So I already cheated and did Space Invaders. That's awesome. Thank you, Great Mustache. I was thinking board games when I was looking at that. So another one we picked up at the game store is Outfoxed, which is really fun. It's a detective thing. So this fox stole your chicken detectives, and the fox stole the pies, I think, from one of the chickens. And you roll, and depending on what you roll, the fox will move through the map, and you've got to solve the mystery before the fox escapes to the other end of the map. And you have a little decoder, and you pick up clues throughout, and the clues tell whether the victim or perpetrator was wearing these things or not. So it was really easy for my 5-year-old and 7-year-old to pick it up. And they got it so well that they started teaching their cousin, who's like 4. And I didn't even get involved. I just let them set it up, and they started teaching them. So I highly recommend that one. It's pretty easy to run through. There's like a speed version because you can make the fox move depending on how many squares he moves, how fast the game goes. That one was really fun for the whole family. And it's hilarious because you're like chickens, and you got little what is the pipe? Lives on, oh my gosh, Sherlock Holmes hat.
Got it.
On these chickens. And we have chickens too, so it's like extra fun for the kids.
I almost put this as my second game because we also have this game and love it.
It's so much fun.
It's great.
It's like a kid version of Clue.
Basically, yeah. The decoder thing is really cool because you put a card in and it has dots, and that's how you can tell if the things match up. So if you finally decide it's this person, you pull the card out and see if you got it right. So it's like we were talking about the Tetris, the tactile stuff. The decoder feels like spy-y or something like that. So the boys especially love it. But again, like 4-year-old, 3-year-old were playing it. Obviously, you're kind of helping them, but they get the idea. Everyone takes their turn. And the other thing that's really good about it is sometimes you roll bad and the fox gets to move. And losing in the moment is okay is a big thing with any game.
Trying to teach kids,
how to lose honorably.
Yeah.
The first time we
like
played
Call of
that,
Duty days.
the fox got really close to like the end to getting us, and I was like, "All right, the fox, move it up!" And my son screamed, like,
no.
"Ah!"
That's the best though, right?
So I'm like,
this little non-sentient figurine moving across a board gave a visceral reaction.
theater of the mind. That's theater of the mind right there.
It really is. I have had times what my son had a companion once, and the companion went down, didn't die, but it was down, and he started crying. We had to. It was so good though. We got to walk through that and all those emotions. It's like, you know what? This is a game at the end of the day, but it's learning how to lose well is really cool.
That's a valuable lesson. That's a valuable takeaway from this entire episode is sometimes it's okay to beat your kids into the ground at their favorite game.
Yes.
In the name of,
Fatherhood.
teachings. Yeah, in the name of fatherhood.
That's the whole point of Mario Kart.
Yeah, You know how many times I let my son win at Mario Kart before he was getting a little cocky, and I was like,
"Let your kids win." Don't. Oh, never.
Well, at Mario Kart. And then I was like, hold on, let me. Daddy's gonna get his Pro Controller real quick. Hold on, this one Joy-Con stuff is over. 150 cc's. Welcome to the real world.
Punk.
I live in New Jersey. You don't know how I drive.
Oh, this is so sad.
That's awesome, dude.
That's so great.
And you thought the Florida man stuff was bad.
Oh man, I'll do my honorable mention is dice games in general, but Open Legend, shout out to Great Mustache. I play Open Legend with the kids too, and they love it. It's exploding dice too, so having the nat 20 or getting a 6 on your die, thinking about the shapes of the die, which is even a little lesson in itself because I talk about what the polyhedrals, those shapes are actually called, 3-dimensional, 2-dimensional. So you're just finding those little ways while you're doing that to create lessons where they can learn. But looking for the highest number, is that the highest number? Okay, you get to roll the dice again. It's really exciting. And then they got to add it. Yes. Yeah. And then they get grumpy because they got to add it. And I'm like, nope, we got to see here. We don't get very far in the adventure sometimes because we spend half the time adding, but it's math there. So
there you go. There's that homeschool element.
Yeah, we try. It's a lifestyle. Yep.
Everything's a lesson.
So you, as you pointed out, you had gone out of order, and they put the note in here that you were going out of order, and then
they put the note, not you.
Punish me.
No, that wasn't me. But in that moment when he was typing that note, I wanted to be like, "Does this game have a rule book? Because you don't follow the rules, man."
I'm a game master. He's a game master.
Like he said, everything turns into homebrew if you play it long enough.
That's right. That's right.
It's so true.
That's awesome.
Thanks for having me, guys. You'll never see me again.
That's quite all right.
Stan's retirement party.
Go ahead, Jacob. What you got for us?
Well, I mean, obviously we play a lot of tabletop RPGs. That's our go-to. Honestly, that's what my kids love doing. So it's Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It's, Little Game Masters. It's even D&D 5th Edition. Whatever comes our way. I actually use them as my test dummies, like Savage Worlds. The minute I get a new game, I'm like, okay, family, come on, kiddos. And they never complain. They throw together characters. It's a great time. But if we're ever not in that mood and it's just any other, one of our favorite go-tos is Munchkin. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Munchkin, the card game.
I've heard. I haven't done it with my kids yet. I thought it was too vicious, but of course you did.
Oh no, my 5-year-old's over there being an orc slamming things with hammers. I mean,
Yeah, not vicious in like playstyle, like player to player. Like it's every man for himself.
It's indirect.
I mean, okay.
I mean,
He says,
obviously
okay.
it turns out to be in co-op usually, and it ends up being like where it's like, oh, everybody versus daddy, because that's
There it is.
Bring it on, children. Put
It
your
is fun.
face.
You guys should definitely pick it up. I just picked up the Pathfinder. What would you call it? Bonus
Box.
pack or whatever.
Bonus pack,
Yeah. So there's different like flavors that have stuff in it. It's a hilarious game.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
so you draw cards, you kick in dungeons, and you build your characters, and as you defeat things, you grow levels. It's so much fun because it's got the RPG element, and of course, we end up turning into story stuff too as we're
Mhm.
doing it. It's a blast. It's a good time. It's random, so like the same pack of cards, like if you just buy the base set, can be replayed over and over and over again, and the turnout will be different.
Mhm.
So that's what's nice. Whoop! I lost
The
my headset.
art's
We'll do that in a
really
minute.
fun too. It's very
The
like
next one we
goofy.
listen to is or we play is World of Tanks. Actually, my son got into this at Page, and he loved it so much that we ended up picking it up, and it was and then he ran it. He ran it at EcclesiaCon. So literally, it's just tanks on a board game. You roll dice and there's some mechanics to drive, and there's obstacles. It'll be a little tactical, and then you shoot them, and it's simple but fun. Of course, we'll play anything.
Yeah, I saw World of Tanks at
fun.
EcclesiaCon. I kept looking over and I'm like,
That was my son.
there's always kids around there. I guess it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool because it got him into World War II stuff. So then we started diving into like history. So once again, we turned it into a school lesson mixed with some board game stuff. So that's kind of cool. What are you laughing at over there, Corporal?
I'm looking at DM Tails' his comment on the chat.
Yeah, apparently he cheated. Don't worry, I made him. I severely punished him for that one.
Oh my gosh.
No, it was good. Dave handled it really well. It was fun. But
That's hilarious.
I just saw that and I was like, oh, he's being called you out over here.
Yeah.
he's not me. That my son did. I just want to be clear.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
He cheated, but you got blamed for it.
Yeah. But Mason also handled it really well. You know, he was just like, oh, okay, you know, I won't do that. You know, he started, like any chat, they start getting into that storytelling mode sometimes too much, and then it's like, no, that's not how it's gonna go.
Every DM has fudged a dice roll here and there, right?
I never fudge dice.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
Jake doesn't fudge.
I just kill.
In my 5-year campaign, I fudged 2 dice rolls and they were meaningless. And it was because I had a guest player and it was just, she was only going to be there for one night. And I was like, this is stupid. Yes, you win. It's fine.
I know exactly the dice rolls and who it was.
Yes. It's nothing to do with the main campaign.
Oh,
That was as long as it's harmless.
Yeah, relatively. Yeah. You know.
Corporal wishes he could compromise his integrity to fudge dice rolls, because there was a character in our campaign that was supposed to die session 1 who we have managed to keep alive to this day.
I had intended that this death was the catalyst that was going to bring the team together, and it was going to be the reason to drive the story forward.
Yes.
And no, we're going to keep the Lizard Wizard with us for the rest of this story, no matter what.
And most of us don't really even like him that much.
No! You're just doing it to
It's pure
beat me
spite.
up. Yes.
I ask people like every other session, I'm like, do you want me to kill the wizard? I will poison him.
That's
I
awesome.
will give him coffee, but secretly poison. And everybody says, no, you don't. Stop trying to kill people on our team.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
good.
I think that sort of brings us to the end of our episode. I see you have some. We did the unplugged episode.
So I have this last section here that I wanted to be able to be filled with anything that could be outside of the standard realm that we've already talked about. That's why I included things like specific card games, or a really good family D&D story that you guys have done, or some type of charades that you guys can play outside. Like, what other great things can you do with the family that you can think of?
Oh man,
I mean, I got
Jake.
stuff right off the bat. Like,
I mean, I got a couple things too, but go ahead.
So, two things. I'll be quick with the first one. We did a thing for a while called Poke Points, and my kids, when they did proper chores, schoolwork, blah blah blah, they'd earn Poke Points and then spend them in a TTRPG game with me. Fantastic. It was the best fake currency I've ever made in my entire life, and the kids felt so rewarded for their good work. And then that aside, another thing that I suggest, like, go out in the dirt, bring some dice, and like just dig and play in the dirt, and then tell a story with whatever you build with them. Like, keep it simple.
Okay.
Some D6s, and it is like the most rewarding thing to do is play in dirt with your children.
Oh my god, that is so funny that you say that, because literally from like June until the end of September, my son goes through probably 5 outfits a day.
Yes.
Including today. I had to hose him down twice because he was covered neck down, just mud.
Oh,
Like, what are you doing out there? He's like, playing in the mud. I'm like, cool.
Get in there with them, man.
Oh, I had to
know,
change
I know you do.
many shirts.
But yeah, simple. That was it.
Man, I mean, this is a little heavier lifting, but I love doing LARPing stuff. So
Oh.
that's where we got the Zelda stuff there. That was our
Yep.
first cosplay my wife and I did together. So doing the construction with the foam stuff with the kids is so fun. And then you just bring it out in the dirt, know that it will be destroyed very quickly.
Well, then you beat them with it.
Yes.
The real life weapon
man.
durability mechanic is cardboard and how quickly it deteriorates.
Yep. So many. We have pieces of weapons out in our backyard from just that. And what's nice is too, they can whack on each other all they want. You don't have to worry about it. It's a little better than sticks. So-
I have a 5.5-minute video that I had taken when my son was 4 of me and him just beating each other senseless with Star Wars lightsabers.
Oh,
Yes,
I remember
that.
that. I remember that.
My saber broke in the process, and he just wanted to kill me. So the video is me on the ground, and he's just like, ah! And that's where it ends.
That's the way to do it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, pool noodles will work just fine too if you got
Yep.
nothing else, you know.
They can sound like they hurt though.
Yeah.
You get a pool noodle and back of somebody's
What
leg.
What is this foam nonsense, gentlemen? Real sticks. is how you
Sticks.
do it.
Sticks.
That was me and Corporal growing up. We had the stick wars. Like,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna say our lightsabers were just a broomstick with duct tape, different colored duct tape to make it. So
Oh, yeah.
we're
Wiffle
fine, right?
bats.
There's nothing wrong with us.
Yeah, we grew up okay. There's no problems.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
We're not talking about games online or anything
man.
weird like that.
Something
Yeah,
that
that's-
I did recently with my son that we've never done before, but we're gonna have to like do it like all summer now because now he's like fixated on it, is I turned my backyard into a very sketchy looking obstacle course for him. So we have like a garden, we have like a little rope swing, we have like a little mulched area, and we have these horrifically sharp spiky balls that fall from our gumwood tree. So we would take like planks and like put them out in the yard, and he did it in shoes, I did it in barefoot to emphasize the fact that you don't want to fall in the spiky balls. And we just created like a giant obstacle course. We got like yarn and like ran it through the cattle wire in like a little like spider's web type thing. And he loved it. And most of it is still set up in the backyard. And I know it's only going to be a matter of time before he's like, Dad, look, I put this like punji pit together for you to go through in your bare feet. So he's big into obstacle courses and like building forts. So like just
Yes.
building random stuff with your kids is always a surefire win.
And then when they're old enough, you play airsoft or paintball with them, then you can shoot them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
This is for that punching pit.
Yeah. But
so
doing
good.
stuff, story time with children. I don't know. LARPing, all of it is just so good.
And the climbing and building, going outside when you can, because they will do it inside if they're not outside.
But families that play together stay together. That's kind of my motto. It's why I run a lot of things at the local library, just to keep families together and doing stuff.
I think that's a good closeout for this episode. Families that play together stay together.
Yes.
There we go.
Well done.
So something that Presto and I do, because a lot of our stuff is video games, but in D&D as well, you've got your main quest, but then there's always the side quest. So we have the side question, right?
Nice.
So side question is how we play it, and the side quest for this episode is
always
your
redacted in the notes.
Yeah. Yes. So what is your favorite game to play alone, or maybe to play with you and just your partner, not the kids, not the family, just the you game?
I think we're done.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a good question though.
Man, I'm on it. Honestly, Monster Hunter Rise. My wife and I like to sit together and just
look at it.
Dude, I'm serious though. You sit together and there's something about it's a co-op game. You work together, and it's not stressful. So obviously you can sit on the couch and talk about every dang problem there is together, or you can take 30 minutes. The cult continues. Sorry, DM Tales. Or you take 30 minutes, hunt a monster, and do something positive together. Where at the end of the day, you hopefully win. But it's and that's something I enjoy playing with my wife. Now, as far as alone, I actually really enjoyed the Red Dead Redemption series.
Oh,
so
okay.
I obviously can't play that with my children because hanging people and dragging them behind horses is probably not something I should teach them.
Yep.
So,
man,
that's where I.
We don't. Yeah, I know. All our game because we made the horrible mistake of making a channel out of gaming. We don't do enough alone gaming, because if we're playing, it's online.
Yeah,
it's streamed or something. I would have to say though, in the past, it was the Telltale games. Her and I. My wife and I
yeah.
I love Wolf Among Us. That was one of my favorites. So we love doing those together and having the stress of she'll remember that. Crap, I gotta go back to the last save point.
Yeah.
Right. Those kind of things. I think now we're old people, so we like to also just it's like a game of complaining about whatever media is on right now, and we hate it because it's all terrible. Because the old stuff's good, but yeah, the Telltale, that kind of stuff. Shocker, more RPG oriented video game. But that's we loved doing that. Any kind of story thing that we could engage with together.
Cool.
Presto.
I mean, the only video game my wife will play is Minecraft. So sometimes, and my son was heartbroken to find out. I forget what we were talking about. It was recently too. My wife was like, "Oh yeah, well I got this last night," and my son looked, and he's like, "Wait, you guys play Minecraft when I go to bed without me?" And we're like, "Yeah." And just
that's my favorite look.
Just that never had occurred to him before. And he was like, "What? But can I get up and play with you guys?" No,
go back to bed.
We had just recently had that same conversation with Sushi Cat. She was like, "I don't want to go to bed because you guys do all the fun things when I go to bed."
It's like, yeah, that's how it works. That's why your bedtime's at 6 p.m.
Gets earlier every year.
Oh, daylight savings. My wife's favorite game, which is the only game that I could say, the house could be on fire and I would be like, "Hey, before we, get all the pets out, do you want to play a quick round of Rummy Cube?" And she'll be like, "Yes, let's do it." Rummy Cube is her game. She plays it. It melts my brain. I really have to be mentally ready for it. Otherwise, she usually wipes the floor with me anyway. But that is her like go-to game that I can always get her to play. Games that I play myself, Monster Hunter Rise is always my comfort game. That's always, if I just feel like sitting back, chilling, not having to think too hard, Monster Hunter Rise. And recently, a game called Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, which is sort of like a Jet Set Radio, spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio. And you just skate around, do graffiti. It's a pretty short game, so there's not that much to do after you've beat the story. But it's just fun. The movement's fun. It's just relaxing to play to me. So, that's Corporal.
So, Lady Sage and I, every once in a while, we'll play this card game called Guacamole. You get different cards and you've got to make guacamole by connecting different vegetables together, and it's very basic, but like we can sit there at the table. And so I built a custom dining room table where you can then pick the whole table up, flip it upside down, and the bottom side of it is felt. So like we'll like put out some drinks and put out some cards, and we'll just kind of sit there and hang out and talk and like just have a relaxing evening. It's either that or we're sitting on the couch and we're watching a TV show or something, and just talking about the day. But that's like our wind down moment.
That's awesome. Sorry, you reminded me. I'll share something that was just in our private supporter Discord. So this is a little bonus thing. My wife and I were doing that, just watching a nonsense show. Yep. And we were floored. And I think you guys will appreciate this, and probably a lot of people in chat. Seeing some people there I recognize. This person this girl is getting her room renovated and goes, I really want it to be something like vintage, like the 90s. Oh. And I just died. I was like, I don't even get to be retro first. I'm already vintage.
Oh my gosh.
That's rough.
That hurts.
Oh.
You just gave me arthritis by hearing that.
My wife texted our Discord like happy face and then skull face. Instant death.
I was an 86 child, and I feel like
Hey man, 87 right here.
It's ow.
Right? Ow. Vintage, like the 90s. Anyways. There you go, chat.
That's horrible. The 80s and the 90s were the best. That's true.
Oh, the 80s was 20 years ago. Don't try to tell me anything
else. I agree.
Yes. Yep.
I 100% agree.
We're really struggling, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're really struggling, aren't we? This is bad.
This
is bad.
It's only
That's why we're all
away.
talking. That's why we're all in this room talking right now.
Yeah.
It's to reconcile with the passage of time.
We need our own little support group.
I saw a meme that was like, when a man turns 30, he has to choose his subclass, which is either microbrewed beer, starting a podcast, or World War II history.
Oh boy!
And that
Jake
usually
just those all together.
Yeah.
Oh no!
You can multi-class. It's fine. Listen,
I'm not in multi-class.
Okay.
This is not good.
That's so good.
And I'm like, that's terrifyingly accurate.
I feel attacked.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
All right. Well, that's the show. This was super fun. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do something else. This is great.
How many tickles does it take to tickle an octopus?
Dad jokes. I don't know.
Tentacles.
No.
Dude, I love that one.
I should have seen that.
That's great. That is great.
Use it on your children. Use it on your children. You got it here.
Fantastic.
Actually, Sushi Cat was like, her favorite one to do is, there's a school that's on top of the hill. Do you know what it's called?
No.
It's a high school.
Oh,
Oh.
so good. I love dad jokes.
They're so good. I'm terrible at them, but I find them hilarious.
Hilarious.
They're good. We always try to end an episode with at least one. And
Yep.
it's usually Corporal sneaking it in and me just like slowly sliding off screen
Yeah.
in pain. I had to come up with my own dad jokes though when you were in Italy.
Oh yeah, I wondered how that went.
Yeah, I didn't. I just let them. I didn't. I'm sorry. I let you down. But when you were in Italy though, did you happen to have the best kind of pasta?
The best kind of. Oh god, what is this? What's the best kind of?
An impasta?
Oh my gosh. He did it.
He did it.
Well done.
He did it. Yeah,
There we go.
There it is. There it is.
Oh,
All
we
right.
lost
Thank
control.
Thank
guys.
you.
This is
Thank you,
great.
everybody in Facebook chat. Samuel, I'm sorry I was ignoring the Facebook
6 Feet
chat for a
Squirrel,
while.
welcome
6 Foot
in.
Squirrel, welcome in, Marty, everybody. Thanks for stopping in again. You guys have been awesome. Avenue Studios, check them out on
Thank you.
the internet's websites.
Where can they find you guys?
Website avenuestudios.media has links to everything. YouTube and Rumble is where we stream. Podcasts also, Spotify. You can find our different shows, but avenuestudios.media is the place to go.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Names up to the top of there. We'll
And we
have
have
the link in our show notes, and there
Oh,
it is in the
thank you.
chat.
Thanks,
Yes.
Jake. We're going to
Cool.
have a special stream because our 5-year campaign completed. That was our original show, and the
Woo!
last episode is coming out June 14th. So we'll be streaming us all getting together here in the studio to watch it live.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Awesome,
Hilarious
awesome.
gifts. I got GM special thing to do in your games if you can when your campaign's coming to an end. Find gifts for your players that are inside jokes within the campaign.
Somebody
Jake's
doesn't
saying,
like
"Oh,
that. Somebody doesn't like that.
I
Don't,
love
don't
doing
give my
that.
players any. They,
Well, even better, Jake's players should be getting him gifts. I'm just grateful people showed up. So, Anyway.
In my campaign, each one of the characters came across a wardrobe, and it was a magical wardrobe that had these little vials in it, and each vial was a little micro ecosystem.
Oh
and
my gosh.
Each ecosystem was for a specific pet. So like a little spider cavern, and there's a spider inside, and like
Yes.
there's a little nesting area for a cat in the cave, and there's a little bat, and each character got to choose which little microcosm they wanted. It opened up their jar, and their little pet would came out. So I
my
had spent
gosh.
hours on YouTube and on Amazon, and I was going to buy each character these little balls and like use tweezers to build these little microcosms, and then
gosh.
take little creatures and put them inside and mail them to everybody, because we've got guys in Canada and Jersey and like
Yeah.
they're all over the place. The amount of time and detail that it was going to take me to do, like, and I generally wanted to do this, but like,
Yes.
oh my god.
No, I mean, I was about to like bow down and be like, I'm not worthy. I got t-shirts and stuff.
Yeah, I chose not to, because like it was gonna take all of my time.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I remember you delicately explain these like elaborate ecosystems, and I remember when I got mine, my character just goes, "Pokemon Go," and smashed the bottle.
Yeah,
Based on your previous stories, that vibe.
that checks.
Consistency. All right. Thanks everybody for coming by. We will see you in the next episode. Thank you guys again for being awesome guests. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you.
Bye.
Peace.